online, and there's significant amount of new information out there. And I think it's important that we all pay particular attention to what I'm going to do. The way we do this is that I will start. I will go through what I believe covers almost everything that we all need to know. And then at the end of it, there will be a Q&A. My senior solicitor who is with me, Charles Asma, will help me to deliver. And if you don't hear my voice, it means that Charles is the one speaking. I will start by why this particular program matters. As most of you will be aware, the UK immigration has gone through significant changes, and it's all been influenced by politics, all been influenced by politics. You will see that reform is doing very, very well in the opinion polls. And the forte of reform is immigration. They don't talk about policy. They don't talk about economics. They don't talk about wars. They don't talk about anything. All they talk about is immigration and how foreigners have come in to take people's jobs and how awful it is that, you know, your child that has been born in this country is risen all the way up to become a prime minister in the way of our former prime minister, Sunak, and significant people in cabinet. Now, Conservative Party has an African who is leading. We used to have a Ghanaian as a chancellor. So really, it seems that we don't matter. We don't matter not because we're not as intelligent or more intelligent than they are, but we don't matter because of our color. So there is a polarization of thought. And that polarization is driven by politics. Labour is doing really bad. As you can see, Labour has just been overtaken by the Greens, which are on the left side of reform. And Polanski is called a poor man's version of Nigel Farage. So it's key. This update will try to explain the key immigration reforms, what they mean for the Ghanaian community, and the practical steps that we should take as a community. So the first major change that I want to talk about is a higher English language requirement. Now, some of you saw the white paper last year, May, and some of you would have heard our new Secretary of State, Mahmoud, in November last year, and also on the 5th of March this year, where she's made some significant changes. Currently, the English requirement has been changed from a B1 settlement and citizenship to a B2 settlement and therefore citizenship from March 2027. What does it mean? What it means is that all those people who used to write English exams, and I say write, you don't really write it, it's speaking and listening. So it's being able to speak, converse, work, order food, communicate with other people in ordinary English language. And most people were able to do that. Now they're cranking it up, or they've cranked it up to very significant level, which is an A-level level. Now, I mean, I'm not sure how important that is to integration, but if you watch the Parliamentary Select Committee on the Home Select Committee yesterday and the day before, and the questions that were asked is, why this? Because really, we have not been told why it's so important that the level that we are on now, which is the O-level B1, which is also quite significant, is being changed to B2. But that's going to change from next year. Already for some people who are in the skilled worker industry, that has changed. They came here with on the B1. Now you need a B2 to be able to stay here as a skilled worker. And you would have also heard the proposed 10-year pathway to settlement. Now that is what they call the settlement. And this was a proposal that came about last year when the white paper was published, and the consultation ensued thereafter. The consultation just concluded in February. And currently we know that the intention of the Secretary of State is to bring in a law and make it retroactive. What it means is that whether you're here or you're not here, this law will apply to you. It means that all those people who came here on the understanding that it would take them 5 years to reach settlement, those people are going to be put on a 10-year pathway. The significant effect of this is that it disrupts families. It's quite expensive. A typical 2.5 years will set a family of 4 back about £16,000. It is about 3,807.50 for one person. If you've got a family of 4, that's almost, we would say it's about just under 4,000. That is just slightly less than 16,000. And you're not going to do that 4 times. You're going to do that 8 times. Now, I'm not sure you're not going to do that 2 times, you're going to do that 4 times. I'm not sure whether this is fair or not, but I believe in the British decency of predictability and, for us, natural justice. Natural justice because if we start on a path and the terms of our contract is that this is what it says, then you don't change the rules halfway through. But again, as I said, all this is dictated by politics. The other reason that has been given is that over the last 5 years, they call it Boris wave. There's been significant migrants to this country. And the fear is that within the next year or 2, there's going to be between 350,000 and 500,000 who are on a low-skilled wage who are going to qualify for settlement. And as you all know, once you have indefinite leave to remain or settled status, it opens up welfare benefits. You can apply for council accommodation if you want to. You can claim benefit. You're not restricted in what you can do, and it opens up a lot of channels for you. The Secretary of State estimates that over the lifetime of those 350,000 people, if they are allowed to settle next year and the year after, it will cost the UK £10 billion by way of extra resource, explosion in school-going children, access to university education, although, university education, you still have to take loan, and all those things. So this is why they have decided that the contract that they signed with these migrants who came here 4 years ago, we're going to change it almost 95% way through the journey, and we're going to put you on a 10-year. Then there's a digital immigration system, which we call the e-visa. This affects all of us, whether we are British or non-British, whether we are settled or non-settled, whether we are coming here for a year or 2. Any person who is coming to the UK for a year or more will be given an e-visa, including those who are coming here on a visit, except those who are coming from visa countries like Ghana and Jamaica and all those other countries. So if you're here and you're British, if you're here and you've got settlement, if you're here and you've got temporary visa, which is a year, 2 years, 2.5 years, 5 years under the EU settlement scheme, you will have to create a portal called e-visa. Now, everything is electronic or digital, which means that your ins and your outs are registered on an online portal, that you have to create a portal for yourself. You have to upload your passport and connect your passport to that portal. That portal will recognize your face, which means that your picture, your iris, your fingerprints, and everything is on that portal. It means that all the information that may have been captured previously, it will have to be captured again. Now, this affects a lot of Ghanaians. I've got a lot of calls over the last few weeks, including people who are now settled in Ghana And when I say settle, because they go to Ghana, stay there for about a year, 9 months, and come to the UK. They're still using the paper visas, which is called a vignette. These people are holding a block. When I say a block, I mean those people who have passports which are about 50 years old. That's where they are indefinite leavers. And then they've attached new passports every 10 years. They get a new passport, and that's how they travel. It doesn't work anymore. Although you can come in, but the system is that if you're working, if you're applying for benefit, if you're applying for accommodation, if you're applying for driver's license, they all require you to have an e-visa. They're no longer looking at a paper visa. In fact, if you're one of those people who are looking for a job now, you will not get employment, or you're going to rent an apartment. You will not get an apartment or accommodation without having an e-visa, because you need to create a share code to your potential landlord or your employer. And then I did say that it affects British citizens, and you will see the videos that I've created over the last couple of months, educating us about dual British citizens, including Ghanaians who hold British citizenship, Americans who hold British citizenship, Germans who hold British citizenship, and any other person who hold British citizenship. Before, if you hold a British citizenship and you don't have a British passport, because you are what we call a non-visa national, or some of you were still using your indefinite leave passports to come to the UK. If you're a British citizen and you don't hold a British passport, you cannot come to the UK with your foreign passport. And I repeat, if you are a British citizen and you don't hold a British passport, you cannot come to the UK with your foreign passport, except one, you have applied for what we call a certificate of a right of abode. Those of you who have been here as long as Methuselah, you will know that some years ago, when you qualify as a British citizen, you also obtain a certificate of entitlement, which was a vignette or a paper stamp in your Ghanaian passport. That changed. It changed because now we're not using a paper vignette from the 25th of February. We're using a digital electronic visa called Certificate of Entitlement to the Right of Abode. So if I'm a British citizen, I don't have a British passport, but I have a Ghanaian passport, I will be able to apply for a Certificate of Entitlement to the Right of Abode, which will be approved, and I can use it as the e-visa that I mentioned. And this is where it gets particularly complex. I've got people who've asked me, okay, I have a Ghanaian passport and I have a British passport. Please, if you have a British passport, everything I've said does not concern you. Every single thing that I've said does not concern you. It is for people who hold British citizenship and do not hold a British passport. So if you have a British passport and a Ghanaian passport, you can go to Ghana with your Ghana passport. And then when you're leaving Ghana, you will come with your British passport. Our immigration service in Ghana have been trained, and they now understand that all those people who hold Ghanaian passport and a British passport, you don't need to have a visa, and you can travel with the two passports. It's allowed. Skilled worker changes. There's been so many changes under the skilled worker, starting from 2024 April, where there were limitations were placed on those people that we call low-skilled migrant. These were people who came here to look after old people, clean hospitals, work in nursing homes, and also do domiciliary care. The very low skilled work. Now, these are the people who have now been caught in the earned citizenship pathway, 10-year pathway. But it seems that there's a spillover, because what I understand is that a 10 years pathway is going to be graded into certain categories. If you're earning about 50,000 plus, your pathway to settlement will not be 10 years, it will be 7 years. If you work in the public service, like a doctor or a nurse, your pathway to settlement will not be 10 years, it will be 5 years. If you came here as a husband or a wife and you came on the 5-year route, currently all the conversation has not mentioned you, because those that have been mentioned are those people on the low scale, which are the care workers, who some of whom have gone through enormous challenges over the last year and the last few years. All I can say is that the changes keeps coming. For example, the skilled workers now, some of them are without jobs. What the Home Office is doing is that where your sponsor does not give you a job and therefore they lose their license, the Home Office is not going to ask you to leave. But that means that you must proactively look for a new sponsor. Else, when your visa expires, you become an illegal, and unfortunately, you will be asked to leave. Now, a bit more detailed. So the English language that I mentioned is the English language from B1, which was an intermediate, to a B2. Now, currently, it applies to skilled workers, but from next year, it is going to apply to every single person. So you, Aminatu, came here. Aminatu could barely string 2 sentences together. She came here as a spouse to join Kweku Antubam. Kweku Antubam is a British citizen. Aminatu was able to pass an A1. To renew, she'll have to do an A2, but then she's stuck because the upper intermediate is an A level, so she cannot pass a B2. What's going to happen to Aminatu is that she will keep paying significant sums of money to renew her visa every 2.5 years, and she would never become settled. That is what we're facing. What I also find in our community is that when there are significant issues that affect some of our brothers and sisters, because a lot of us have British citizenship, we keep saying, oh, this does not concern me, so I'm not interested. Unfortunately, when they did those surveys and invited people to share their opinion, only a few of us did. And again, it goes back to the same issue that we had with the Brexit when we live in the EU. Some Ghanaians came on radio and said it's good we leave the EU because when we leave, the Polish people will not come and take our jobs, and we Ghanaians will take their jobs. Well, I think the reality is what we're facing now. They've gone beyond that. Farage is dictating the pace. And unfortunately, we've got a Home Secretary who herself came from a migrant family. She doesn't really care. She doesn't really care. Now, this is what I want people to do. So when you take the B2 English language, you can see that I'm spending a lot of time on this because I can see that a lot of our people will fail. This week alone, I have done a KOL pro forma for doctors to approve so that our community, some of our community members will be exempt from the English language and the life in UK. I'll explain to you at the tail end how you can do that. But yes, if you've got challenges, both mental, psychological, health, or any physical challenge that prevents you from studying and passing the language, then you will be able to apply for exemption. But the B2 is quite significant. Now, I didn't do A-level English, but those who did A-level English, I've spoken to some of them, and it's challenging. Very, very challenging. The Secretary of State says that it's not going to be a Chaucer exams. But whether it's Chaucer or not, to be able to communicate fluently at work, understand complex discussion, and they didn't say understand discussions, but complex discussions, write clear explanation, participate confidently in professional environment is going to be challenging for significant members of our community. Is it too late? Yes, it's too late because the law has started. It started with skilled workers and it's starting next year with everyone else. So ladies and gentlemen, all I can say on this English language is that if you know that you're not very competent in communicating fluently understanding complex discussion, writing clear explanations, and participating confidently in professional environment, start taking English lessons. And when people ask me, as someone who believes in startups, what area that you can do to earn you a bit of spare cash? If you're very good with English and you have a bit of time, please start setting up online classes for our Ghanaian folks and teach them English. They can start now, they will have a head start, and hopefully, after a year or two, they should be able to pass that exams because it's going to be extra difficult. And then I spoke briefly about the proposed 10-year settlement pathway. So this is what they've said. And if you focus on what I'm saying, you might think it will only apply to low-skilled migrants and probably just skilled workers. But no. The proposal is going to cut across all areas of migrant settlement. Some will get settlement earlier than 5 years or 10 years. Some will stick to the 5 years, and some will go on the 10 years. Yes, currently, as we speak, there are people who are on the 10-year pathway. There are those who are whose application were approved either exceptionally outside the rules or that there were parts of the rules that they did not meet. It might be possibly income, it might be English language, or it might be some other thing. But those people who are on the 10-year now, they chose to be on the 10-year, apart from those people whose grants were either purely human rights or exceptionally outside the rules. So there's a choice now. You can either go on the 5-year route or you go on the 10-year. But when the 10-year pathway starts, there are significant people who will not qualify. One, any person who has a criminal conviction. Two, any person who is not working. Three, any person who is claiming benefit. And somebody will say, but Uncle Ben, how can someone claim benefit when they are on the 2.5 years with restriction on public funds? Well, there are some people who are either potentially destitute or destitute, and mainly will be women, single parents who are struggling to bring up their children, and not because they don't like to work, but it's because they simply cannot go out to work. Those people are on benefit. Unfortunately for those people, you will be on the 10-year pathway. And it also seems that for net takers and who are not net contributors, if you take more than you pay in tax, you are going to be punished. You will be put on the 10-year. But for you to ameliorate some of these particular problems, they brought in the community spirit, which is basically somebody doing voluntary work, like at home for the aged, the old people, serving soup kitchen, working at a charity shop, or running errands for a nursing home. So what I did do last year, and when I did my video, is to advise our community members who are likely to be caught by this unconscionable change in law, which will come in later this year, not next year. It's going to be in the autumn. They initially said April, but it's going to be in the autumn, and it's going to come. First of all, one, as I explained, no criminal conviction. You must work. 3, you must not take benefits. 4, you must do voluntary work, and voluntary work can be anything from working in your local church, and this is where our churches come in. So if we've got churches where people are serving and they're doing stuff, hopefully the church itself is able to write a letter to confirm. But knowing some of our churches, even if people are not doing it, it's very likely that they will write a letter. So what I advise people to do is not to abuse the system. And if you're concerned at all, there are people like Seventh Day, the Salvation Army who do voluntary work. You can go and sign up. The Red Cross, you can do the charity shop, the soup kitchen. There are nursing homes all across United Kingdom. You can sign up and do voluntary work. There are other things that you can do. You can do voluntary work at the schools where your children go. You can serve as a school governor or a trustee. These are all things that will go in your favor. But above all, there's going to be greater emphasis on integration. And you will see that anytime the Home Secretary speaks, she seems to be answering or responding to Nigel Farage, where Nigel Farage and certain people in the Conservative Party who have now severed relationship and joined Reform have said there are parts of UK which are no-go area because they are full of Pakistanis or Bangladeshis. I'm yet to see areas which are only made up of Ghanaians. And when they say that, I say, well, where are my offices? That is a Jewish area. You take North London, that is a Jewish area. But I haven't heard anyone call them a no-go area. Why? These people dress, especially the religious one, they wear whatever they have to wear. They leave their beard. They wear their gowns and everything. And nobody's calling them names. How come when it comes to Pakistanis and Bangladeshis and Africans, we are being called names? That areas that we live, there are areas that nobody will want to live there. And it's just us. And we don't like integration. We always want segregation. I'm sure most of you will be aware that there's a story going around that when the black people move to certain areas, the white people move away. So it's not us causing the segregation. It is actually the indigens who are causing it. I did talk about digital immigration system. Now, if you're here and you're renting, it's going to be very difficult for you because if you can only rent if you can prove that you've got a right to rent. And if you're a landlord and you're allowing people to rent your property without checking their immigration status online, you will be in breach of the law and you could be prosecuted and you will be fined. If you're employing someone and you're still checking paper stamps, you're not doing your job. When you're caught, you could be fined. I've got a lady who came to me, she was running a salon and her daughter's friend who had come from Ghana came there. And because she was busy, she asked her to help her clean the washing bowl and the sink. And she was arranging combs and those things that the ladies put in their hair. The immigration attended the premises. She said, oh, no, she just came to see me. She's not working. Unfortunately for her, this lady had been going there for about 3 weeks prior to her being arrested. And she was giving her £40 each week. And this lady opened up to the immigration. They took her to Croydon County Court, and she was fined £40,000. I still see people who've got BRPs. BRP is a biometric residence permit or card. Now, anyone who's got a BRP, it means your e-visa setup is the easiest because you've already got a card. You just have to scan it and you can set it up. The e-visa is an online portal. Not many of our mothers and our fathers can use a computer. So those churches and community organizations that can help people, please do. Last year and the year before, we went out and told every Ghanaian that if you cannot set up your online portal or your e-visa, come to our office and we'll do it for you for free. I'm happy to say that over that period, we helped over 100 people, and we still do. So if you're a Ghanaian and you're in the UK and you've got an old stamp or old vignette in your passport and you want us to help you, come and we will help you. Hopefully it doesn't involve us making an application because some do. And where there's an application involved, unfortunately, because it's a service that we're providing and not just a charitable work that we're doing, there might be a charge. But for those who have all the materials that we need, anybody who's got an immigration document with a reference 1212 or 3434 or GWF, you can easily set up your e-visa. I've mentioned digital verification for employers and landlords. It is an offense to allow somebody to stay in your house as a tenant without you verifying their status. And it's not done by looking at their passport. It's done online where they are migrants. If they are British citizens, then you can look at their passport. But if they are Ghanaians or foreigners who claim to have status in the UK, then they will have to give you a share code, which is a code that letters which you will then go online, put in there, and it will show you or confirm that this person is allowed to live in the UK. I mentioned dual British nationals and the difficulties that they are facing. The first thing we all ought to know is that from the 25th of February, every person who is a British national under Section 1 of the British Nationality Act or Section 3, or a person who is referred to a person with a right of abode because they are not subject to immigration control under the 1971 Immigration Act and then the 2009 Immigration Act. You have to hold one of two documents. One, a British passport. Two, a foreign passport with an electronic right of abode. Both the 2009 Act and the 1971 Act emphasizes that if somebody has a right of abode, and all British nationals have a right of abode, they can present a British passport or a foreign passport with a certificate of right of abode. The only people who are allowed to come to the UK without an e-visa, a British passport, or a right of abode are Irish nationals. So if you're Irish and you hold an Irish passport, everything that I've said here does not concern you. If you hold an American passport, if you hold a German passport, if you hold a Spanish passport, any passport that you hold, which is a country that is a non-visa country, and all the Western countries are non-visa countries, you cannot come to the UK without ETA, Electronic Travel Authorization. You need to complete a digital application on an app, and within 5 minutes, within 15 minutes, you will get a decision. The problem is that if you don't comply, then you're not going to be allowed to board your flight. Already in Ghana, I've seen both the airline and immigration checking people's e-visas. And I'm afraid if you're a British citizen and you are coming here with an old vignette in your passport, which is the right of abode, since the 25th of February, you can no longer do that. Skilled worker visa changes. Our focus today is on these poor people who have been brought here by some unscrupulous people and they've been taken advantage of. And every single week, we get no less than 10 people with these problems. First of all, if somebody is on a skilled worker, the changes that have been brought in from last year, in fact, it started in April 2024, and then July 2025, and now, is that if you are working here as a carer on a code 6135 and 6136, which was previously 6145 and 6146, which is a carer or a support worker, you cannot bring your dependents any longer, unless you were in the UK before April 2024. Within the skilled migrant route, they've now categorized 3 pathways: the higher threshold, the middle threshold, the lower threshold. The lower threshold, you can no longer get a certificate of sponsorship unless you're already here. Middle threshold, those people on the middle threshold can get a certificate of sponsorship, but they cannot bring dependents. And those people on the higher threshold, the income is 40,700 unless there's a particular income that has been designated, which is more than 40,700. So the focus, as you can see from everything I've said, is on graduate level jobs. That is why the Home Secretary is able to call these people miserable, low-skilled migrants who are going to take all our money, about 350,000 of them next year. And she doesn't want them to. So instead of 5 years, she's doubled it to 10 years. There is also increased compliance. Today, as I said, the new one that has come in is for the sponsors. You will see that almost all the Ghanaians who had businesses, care agencies, care homes, and domiciliary businesses, almost all of them have lost their licenses, almost all of them, because we don't listen, we like to cheat, we like to be greedy, we are selfish, and most often than not, we don't have sympathy on our people. So we bring people here, we promise to give them job. We know that we've only got 40 positions. We bring in 150 people. We charge people 15,000, 18,000, 10,000, 12,000. When they get here, we don't give them the job. The Home Office saw through that. They set up a task force which was supposed to help these people, including giving them accommodation and money, because some of them are really suffering. I'm afraid if you find yourself in that position, the best thing to do is to move and find another sponsor or find something else and switch. Because the focus now, as I see, although the Home Office are not actively removing people who have lost their license, very soon they will. It is therefore important that whilst we discuss the way of helping these people, you must also help yourself by making sure that you are proactively looking for a new sponsor. The changes are quite significant. For example, some employers could backdate wages for several months. The new law says that you can only backdate it for 3 months. Some of them were able to pay a lower wage and put you on a sick leave. These days, you have to provide evidence of sickness. There are many, many businesses that have helped who are facing investigation and compliance audits. And it saddened me to say that the very poor people who have been brought here are not being served well by some of our own community members who have these businesses, because their focus has not been on complying with the 5 duties which the law prescribes, which is compliance with record keeping. How difficult is it to keep record? 2, understanding what the immigration rule says, because all this is discretionary. It is not a right. Complying with the UK law, making sure you're not paying below the going rate or the minimum wage, making sure you're giving your employers pension, and making sure that you're giving them holidays. All those things are very basic things which is leading to some of our community members losing their license and their sponsorship. Now, the focus now shifts to changes to lower skilled migration. Government policy, the aim is to reduce reliance on lower skilled. So you will see that they've created a new species of people called temporary shortage occupation. It means that they can cut and paste and change and twist and remove. It doesn't give you certainty, neither does it help you to reach settlement. Unfortunately, for people who are on the low skilled, you're no longer useful to the country and they want to get rid of you. So the UK government, the main policy is to reduce reliance on lower skilled migration, encourage domestic workforce development, restrict visa access to higher skilled roles. So if somebody is higher skilled, doing very significant things in the IT field, software development, either back office or front office, even in business, IT skilled in business, all those people are encouraged to come and settle here. Teachers, graduate teachers, nurses and doctors and dentists, they are all encouraged to come here. Mechanics to some level, car mechanics, some level, high density welders, plumbers, oil rig workers. So they're looking at high scale. So that those days that you can just go and bring people, those days are gone. What does this mean for the Ghanaian community? I've said so many things, and I'm sure that once we get to the question and answers, some of you will have the opportunity to ask questions. But for me, this is what I've put together for our community. If you're here, whether you're a British citizen or you're a migrant, everything I've said, some of it concerns you. Plan immigration applications carefully. If you're bringing your spouses, this is the time to plan. Maintain valid immigration status, because really, if you overstay, even for a day, you become an illegal migrant. Although under paragraph 39E of the immigration rules, there is an exemption for people who have only overstayed for 14 days. You still have to provide good reason why you didn't make your application within the 14 days. So it's not a carte blanche. You need to justify why you want to rely on the 39E. You must improve your English language. And again, for those of us who don't really integrate properly, I think we must now ensure that we're encouraging our friends and family, our relatives who are here to start taking English classes. And I say for our community members, if somebody's looking for a business opportunity and you've got a time to teach, you can do an online teaching. This is an opportunity for you because you can speak both our local language and English, and therefore you should be able to help our people and charge a small fee for that. And always seek professional advice. I know that some people feel that lawyers are very expensive. So they are only looking at cost. They are not looking at value. And as the economists will tell you, everything that has value has a cost, and it might be a sacrificial cost, but you cannot have something of value for free. And therefore, when I do something, I always look at the cost, but I look at the value as well and say, what is the value of this to me? The value is to help you to settle, is to help you that if you've moved to Ghana with a paper vignette, that you come back and convert it to an electronic visa. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where I draw the curtain, and I will ask members if somebody has questions. I'll take some of your questions, and Charles will take over from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bernard. Thank you. As always, you don't disappoint. You've taken us through a lot. As you can see, we have over 200 people, over 200 people in and out. We have also live on Facebook. People are watching. This program is brought to you by Ghana Union on behalf of the Ghanaian community in partnership with BWF Solicitors. I do have my team behind the scene, Paul Akwabwa and Linda Wayo, working so hard to make sure all your settings are up to date. We will take a second break, if you don't mind, so Bernard can grab some glass of water, and then we'll come back quickly for Q&A. Thank you very, very much. So get your questions ready. Those who want to ask some questions, you can start raising your hands as we take this few seconds break. Thank you.
Meet Odola, the money app for your global life. Open your Odola account in minutes. All your finances in one place. Grow your savings 1 gram at a time. Track your transfers from start to finish. Odola, money made simple.
Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced family law firm specializing in immigration and naturalization, as well as dispute resolution. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner with over 30 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stand for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity and inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance across all areas of UK and Ghana law. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Led by experienced senior partner Bernard Owusu, the team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with your immigration, naturalization, dispute resolution, family law, new wills and probate, Ghana law and practice needs. We are dedicated to providing solutions to our clients' problems. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Main office line 0208 493 7340 or our emergency line 07712 761 884.
Welcome back. My name is Nana Kwesi the first, Jumahine of Ahanta traditional area and chairman of Ghana Union hosting you tonight. We are privileged tonight to have with us Bernard Owusu, the senior partner of BWF Solicitors, taking us through very important changes to our immigration policies here in the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland. Tonight we have a couple of questions that people may want to ask. Please, let's go straight to the point so others can have a turn, and I'll be calling you. If you haven't named yourself, it will be difficult to call you by any name except your mobile phone now, So I'll go straight to call on Kofi Achuahene, please. Richard, Kofi Achuahene, if you're with us, kindly unmute yourself. And Charles, welcome. Thank you for joining us along with Bernard. And I'm sure you will do just as good and more than good, just as good as Bernard would have done. So nobody should think Bernard is gone, so we can't ask the question. Charles and Bernard work together. They all do it together.
I'll be with you for 10 minutes, and then
Okay.
Charles will take over.
That's fine. So Bernard is still here, and Charles as well. So, Mr. Chuahen, if you're here, please unmute yourself, and let's go to the questions, please.
Amen.
Mr. Richard Chuahene, your hand was up. Are you still with us? You can unmute yourself, please. Right, should we move on to Gifty Owusu-Boamah, please? Gifty. Paul, can we check?
Good evening.
Yes, okay. Good evening.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
We can hear you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, Uncle Ben, you said I'm talking about the dual citizen ETA. You said if wherever you travel, you can go with that visa to the country, but when you're coming back, you use your British passport. So does it mean, I know you said Irish people, they don't need to apply, but what about the British? Do they need to apply or they don't need to apply? Thank you.
Okay, so you want to know whether British people need to apply to re-enter here or they don't, Irish don't. So I think Bernard clarified that, but he will get a 10. He will note that one down. If we have one more question, then Bernard can answer those two together. Kwame Safu, please. Kwame.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I want to know that if you came here with a skilled worker and your licenses have been revoked and you are searching for a new sponsor, but you are struggling to have a new sponsor and your former company have work for you to do, does your visa still continue? Because I came here with 5 years and I'm almost done with my 4th year. So I want to know, please. Thank you.
So can you clarify something? You said if you want to know if you had worked for some company and left the company, and now you are going back to work for
No,
that company. Is that what you said?
no, this is how it is. The company I work for, their license has been revoked at the minute, and they
Okay.
have work for people to do. So I'm searching for a new company. But when I was coming, I had straight 5 years from Ghana to come here. So my visa, when I check my visa status, it tells me that it will end next year, 2027. So I want to know if I still work for the company that the alliances have been revoked. Does it have any consequence on my stay here or my visa here? I want to know because
Okay.
at the minute I still work for my previous company because I'm struggling to have a new COS or switch.
Okay. Thank you. Bernard and Charles, I mean, please, would you take?
Okay. Well, I mean, first of all, if you came here with a sponsor, whilst they are still sponsoring you, you have to work for them. If the sponsor loses their license, they are no longer sponsoring you. That means you're not being sponsored. The problem is that if you're not being sponsored, your 5 years is not counting because it has to be a sponsored 5 years. But if you switch from, let's say, sponsor A to sponsor B, and you've done 3 years with sponsor A, and you go to sponsor B, it doesn't matter what area you've been sponsored in. Once you're still a sponsored migrant, you will count towards the 5 years. That is the way it is.
Okay. And the lady was asking whether if you can return here if you have a British passport or something of that sort, that the Irish they don't need to come with a visa or anything of that sort. Would you mind clarifying that aspect for her,
Okay,
please?
so as we know, the UK and Republic of Ireland have a long relationship, and therefore both countries do not take visas from each other. An Irish national can live in the UK as if it's a UK resident, and so could a British national live in Ireland. Although we've left the EU, Irish people do not require visas to come to the UK, but all other Western countries require visas now. Every single person who is not a UK national and an Irish national will require a visa to come to the UK.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Can we have Galaxy S20 FESG, please? There's someone with Galaxy S20 without a name. If I can call you Galaxy. Do you want to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Hello.
Hello,
Yeah,
Galaxy S.
my name is Richard Kofi Otuayin.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. One lawyer was just talking about lower skill. I want to know whether those people working at the lower skill, what will happen to us?
You want to know what will happen to those who are, within the low skill category?
Yes, please.
In what
Well,
context?
so
Okay.
So my understanding, I think the question is that, are they going to get settlement? You're very likely to go on the 10-year route, and we'll know within the next few months. You're very likely to go on the 10-year route. So unfortunately, that is where we are.
So if I heard you right, Bernard, you said if somebody had left an employer that sponsored them to enter this country, right? They were given 5 years. I want that clarity to be made because a lot of people are confused still. So you were given 5 years by, Quasin and Co. company, right? Quasin and Co. then gone bust or they've revoked their license. And so you've gone to another company. Now, if you don't get a company that is a licensed company, it means all your time you are working with the new company is not counted.
Well,
Is
if
that
you're
what
not,
it is?
okay, so you came here as a sponsored migrant. You must always be sponsored.
Okay.
If your sponsor loses their license, currently the Home Office is not proactively removing people.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that you should not also actively seek for a new sponsor. Because remember that it will take you 5 years as we speak, although the law is likely to change. It will take you 5 years to get settlement. But you have to be sponsored for the 5-year period. So if you spend 3 years with Quasin and Co., and Quasin and Co. loses their sponsorship license, and then you get Charles Asma and Co. for the next 2 years, the 2 years plus the 3 years will be 5 years. But if you're not doing anything, you're not being sponsored because obviously your sponsor have lost their license.
Right. Because in the context of the earlier question that was asked, it seems like the gentleman is gone back to work with the same company that has lost their license.
Well,
and that is the trick.
Yeah, first of all, he doesn't have a right to work because his right to work is based on a sponsorship to a particular company.
Right.
That particular company must have a license.
Right.
That particular company now doesn't have a license.
Yes.
So that particular company is in breach of the law.
Right.
And also because you must only work for the person who is sponsoring you, and you can do supplementary or extra work for another business for 20 hours. If you're not working with your sponsor, you don't even have the right to do 20 hours supplementary work. And I know a lot of people, there was a business that I was trying to help, and the people that lost their job, they took her to ACAS, and ACAS said, no, they must work for you. I told her, you must be very careful, because if you're not careful, the people don't have a right to work, and you'll be paying £40,000.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ram.
Charles.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh,
What you
yes.
say?
Yeah, take over.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Bernard. We will be in touch. Thank you. Ram, we've got a Ram 2, please. Ram, your hand is up. Is Ram still with us? If not, we move on to Nicholas now, please. Nicholas.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Please, I would like to ask this thing concerning students. Students are restricted to only 20 hours per week, and the employers are not going to bend the rules for anyone. Today, I lost 3 potential employers because I hold a student visa. I'd like to ask if something can be done about it, because it's worrying some of us. It's really worrying some of us. 20 hours, even if it doesn't conflict with your studying hours, they are not ready to bend the rules for anyone.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Charles, our brother wants to know, is there anything that could be done about this, that
Right.
restriction of 20 hours?
Ram, are you there? Ram.
Ram is listening to you, yes.
Yeah, I wanted to engage him briefly to have a context.
Hello, can you hear me?
Very good. Let's have a quick conversation. You came in as a student.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Did you come in as a student?
No, I'm not. It's not Ram who asked the question. I think it's someone else. Now that
All
Ram
right.
is going to ask it.
Oh, okay. So are you the one asking about student?
No, it's not Ram who asked about the student.
It's Mr. Na.
Oh, okay, all right. Let me presume that Ram is listening and engaging. So Ram, you come in as a student, and the presumption is that you are coming to do a full-time course. And that is why when you were making an application for your student visa, you were asked to prove maintenance for the duration of your course. If you got a sponsorship from your country or the government would have confirmed that they will sponsor you for maintenance. And if you had self-sponsorship or family sponsoring you, you would have provided bank statement to confirm that there is enough funding for the duration of your course. So it's a full-time study. The reason why you are allowed time to work is to acquire skills and, of course, little income to support your main funds that have already been secured as part of your application. Now, the rules are that you have to work 20 hours so that you can focus on your studies during term time. And anytime the school is in school on vacation or it's not in session, you can do unlimited hours. So your focus for unlimited hours should be during vacation. But if you are going to shift focus from studies to work to the extent that you feel that people are not being fair and you are not having opportunity because a lot of employers are telling you to study and so you can't do more than 20 hours, then your focus has shifted. And that is within the rules. And that is the policy for students. And for that matter, no government will bend the rule on that because the focus is first to study and to acquire qualification. But during vacation, you can do as many hours as you would wish. So the best approach would be to discuss with the employer that I'm a student. And so during term time, I'll do 20 hours. And whenever I'm going to go on vacation or holiday, because the school is no longer in session for the period, I would like you to increase the hours, and I can even do 100 hours. I'm sure the employer will be flexible enough to accommodate your needs. But for that, you have to comply. Otherwise, if you don't, the university has a duty to report your attendance to the authorities. And once it is reported that you are not focused on your studies, your student visa will be taken away from you within the rules. And you even become an overstayer, you lose your right to work, and you lose everything. So first things first, focus on the priorities.
Thank you very much. There's a question on chat that I want to read out. I have an administration review pending at the Home Office. Please, can I switch to a student visa? I've got an admission. I'm not sure what visa that person is on right now, but is asking. It would be good if the person actually told us what type of visa he's got.
We will situate it. We will situate it.
Right.
So this person has made an application for any visa at all, and the person did not meet the requirement for that particular visa, and so the visa application has been refused. Within the rules, you have rights for admin review, and that tells me that it is likely to be a skilled worker visa or a student visa, because these are the only two set of applications that will have remedy under admin review. Others will have appeal. So if the person said admin review, it means could be skilled worker application or skilled worker dependent application or student extension application or postgraduate visa application. You were refused. That means if your visa has already expired, you are under Section 3C protection. Section 3C of the 1971 immigration rule says that if you have a valid visa and you put in an application before the visa expires, even though you are out of your visa has run out at the time you are waiting for the decision, your right to live in the UK, work and do everything is as good as if you had a visa. However, once the visa application is refused and you are challenging it, the protection is still there. But at this moment, you don't have the visa itself. Let's say you have the spirit of the visa, but not the body itself. And so if you are going to ask for university to give you admission and they give you the admission, you cannot say that I have admin review pending and therefore I can I can attend the course or go through the learning process. The university will ask you to get the student visa. The question is, at this point where you are only relying on admin review to survive in the UK, can you switch from admin review status to a visa status. That is very difficult because technically you don't have a visa at the moment. And if you don't have a visa, how do you switch? And so, and if you don't switch to the what, then normally what happens is that if you're not careful and you withdraw the admin review, you become an overstayer. So before you make an application for student visa in country, please, you have to seek advice, follow one-to-one, where we have to check from the university whether they are happy for you to be given, if they can give you extra time whilst you are managing to get a visa. And at the same time, the university will have immigration department within there where they can give you a letter to support the application. They will say that, yes, you've been given admission, you intend to make an application, you have admin review pending, your Section 3C rights are ongoing. The university will add a letter, the lawyer will make a representation, and you can put in an application. The second option is to go home and apply from there and re-enter.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Charles. Frank Tando, please. Frank. Ramsey, can I unmute you? Okay. I will give you access to unmute yourself. Frank Tando. Frank, kindly unmute yourself, please.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Good evening to each and everyone on this platform, especially Lawyer Bernard. My question is that I'm a dependent and I'm living, let's say I'm not living with my wife really, but we share communication and everything. Short of some incident came to our midst, and definitely I can't hear from the lady again. Always she called me for money and other things. She told me she had a what do you call it, sponsor at Scotland and let's say Scotland. But from then I haven't been hearing from her. He collected an amount of money from me.
All right. Okay. Can you ask a question? We are online. So please ask a question, and if you need a bit more detailed personal discussion, we can signpost you to see the lawyer.
Okay. My question is, I'm a dependent. My visa has been, let's say, something like, is it cancelled?
Cancelled,
yes.
curtailed.
And
yes.
my share code is now working up to somewhere in August. So how should I do? I want to ask Lawyer Bernard or everyone here.
So your share code is not working. It's not working,
My
right?
share code is working now.
Okay. All right. Lawyer Charles, please, if you can help.
Yes. My brother, can you hear me? Okay,
yes.
He can't. Oh, can you hear me?
I'm sure he can hear you, yes.
Right. So, quick one. When did your visa curtailment end? When was the last date? Can you confirm?
Mr. Tando, are you with us still?
Right. Let's assume that the visa was curtailed maybe with 60 days notice, or it was curtailed because the sponsor wrote to the Home Office to tell them by disclosure that there's no longer subsisting relationship. And under the immigration rules, paragraph A3, the rule said that whenever there is change in relationship, Home Office must be notified. Home Office would then write to the dependent to say that we have information to suggest that your relationship is no longer subsisting. Sometimes they will give you what we call minded to respond. If there's no minded to respond, I'm sure he was given minded to respond notice, and he couldn't respond, and eventually, they will also write you to give you time that by this date, your visa will cease to exist, and you have to take action before it expires. That is what I wanted to confirm. Let's assume that he didn't take any action and the visa has now expired. I tell people that share code is just the fact that you were able to confirm that you have right to work. and it lasts for 3 months. Let's assume that you had your share code today and your actual visa expired today. That share code will last for 3 months. So anybody can have it and check. But the key thing is, even if the share code is working, or let's say the e-visa online is working, but the visa itself has expired per the curtailment date, then you are out of visa. You are an overstayer, so to speak. What you have there simply means that the system has not yet synchronized with the decision or the curtailment date on paper. So even though you have it there, you cannot rely on that. It's always important that you refer to the end date per the visa decision date or the per curtailment decision date on the paper or the email that was sent to you. So my brother, if the e-visa is valid, but the actual visa on paper is expired, then you are an overstayer.
Thank you very much. Celestine Gasu Mensah, please. Celestina Gasu Mensah.
Hi,
Please.
can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. My question is, hi everyone. My question is, I have Ghana passport and British passport. Now, in my Ghana passport, I have a right of abode. I've had it for 20 odd years. Now, does it mean I have to apply for the electronic one too, or I can still use that one?
Say you have Ghana passport and British passport.
Yes. And
So
I have a
anytime
right of abode stamp in the Ghana passport.
You had the right of abode because you didn't have British passport then, I suppose.
No, I had it, but I just chose to apply for right of abode, so it's easier for me. Before, you can use the Ghana passport coming back, and you can still use Ghana passport through the British, link. But now, you have to use both. My question, I just want to know if I have to apply for the electronic, whatever you were talking about.
I just want to also understand, do you still have the British passport?
I have the British passport, yes.
And nothing stops you from using it? Or you have a restriction?
No, I don't have any restriction.
Then my advice professionally to you is that henceforth, use the British passport to enter from abroad.
No. That is what I do when I'm coming. My question is, do I have to apply for another right of abode electronically?
You don't have to. You have a British passport, and that is fine. That's all you need. It's those who don't have British passport that will have to rely on the certificate of entitlement of right of abode.
Okay, because myself and my whole family, we have the same thing, and my grandchildren. So I just want to make sure it's fine. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Okay. I'm going back to the chat room. Somebody saying, I'm a British citizen with British passport. Do I still need a passport to be able to travel to Ghana? Do I still need a Ghana passport to be able to travel to Ghana? My brother, I would say Ghana to require you to identify yourself. Okay, so you cannot enter Ghana by virtue of carrying a British passport. Otherwise, all Ghanaians will be here with a Ghanaian passport as well. So please, you will need a Ghanaian passport, or these days they will call Ghana card. That will let you into Ghana, and on your way back, you can fly your British passport here. I think that is a common knowledge that we need to let our community know.
Otherwise, Mr. Quayson, otherwise they can get a visa if they don't have the passport or Ghana card at all. They can get a visa from the Ghana embassy.
Yes. So please, if you don't want to get any of this Ghana passport, then go and get a visa, which you will have to pay for anytime you travel. Okay. Thanks for vital information. Somebody saying thanks for vital information. Can I switch to a student visa? Okay. So let me go back to those whose hands are up, because some of the questions on the chat room are not quite straightforward. Right. Okay. Right. Let me. Can I call Mr. Gibson, please? Ureko Gibson. If you are still with us, unmute yourself, please, Mr. Gibson.
Oh, hello. Good evening. Good evening, Anna. Good evening, Lawyer Charles. Yeah, sorry I came in late. I might have missed some of the lecture you just gave, but I just wanted you to clarify those with EU passport and have settled status in here. When they are going to Ghana, do they How does it work with the changes that has just come?
The changes are not for Ghana. The changes are for UK. So if somebody is resident in the UK as an EU national resident in the UK or EU family member resident in the UK, they would have an e-visa because they would have had BRC, the biometric residence card for EU nationals and family members. Of course, the EU nationals themselves wouldn't have the card, but they will have their passport and pre-settled status or settled status, which allows them to create the e-visa or the online account to be able to generate their code and also to see their e-visa online. So when you are traveling to Ghana, you have of course, your EU passport is a foreign passport. It will not allow you to enter Ghana. So you must have your Ghana passport as well. Or you must go get a Ghana visa to enter Ghana, or must have a Ghana card. However, if you are entering the UK, because you're already resident in the UK, all you need to do is to have a share code generated. That's the immigration status share code. Then you can, usually I tell people that print a copy of your e-visa and print your share code for your immigration status, add the two to your passport and show it to the immigration officer in Accra, and they will allow you to board or go through the process. Once you get to the UK, the same process to be able to enter when you get to the immigration. But if you are going to Ghana, that is, whether you need a Ghana visa or not depends on whether you are a Ghanaian or not. If you're a Ghanaian, then you may have Ghana passport or you may have Ghana card, which exempts you from getting a visa. So your question, because asks you, how do I go to Ghana? My answer simply is that if you are going to Ghana, get a Ghana visa or have a Ghana card or have a Ghana passport.
Thank you. Alfred Blay. Alfred Blay, please, if you can unmute yourself. Is Alfred with us still? Alfred, please unmute yourself. Okay.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
I just want to find out why is it that the appeal process take a longer time? If the Home Office have a genuine case, why does it take a long time for them to hear your case? And okay, that's all. Let me ask this one for now. Thank you.
You mean to make a decision?
Yes, I think it's to do with why does it take Home Office so long to decide on cases?
Yes, a genuine concern, but they usually say that it's either that the application is complex and requires some review for a decision to be made, or in general to do with administrative challenges because there is a lot more applications going before them every day, every week compared to previous regimes. And so it appears that they are handicapped in terms of workforce or capacity, and that has affected the decision standard time. It used to be 6 months. They moved it to 12 months, and now they are saying it's unlimited. The best we can do is to put in a pre-action protocol or unreasonable delay, telling them that it appears that though there is a challenge, your case is overly delayed or unduly delayed, but you want to know what is happening. Again, if you have concerns where you need to be given the visa to be able to travel to attend to family emergency, i.e. bereavement or health of a family member, you can get evidence from that family member and make an application to the Home Office requesting expedition of your case so that you can attend to such needs. These are the two reasons why your application could be expedited. Otherwise, why this is happening is what I have told you. Can we do anything about it? There isn't really much. I do tell my client that please get your MPs involved. And they're now telling the MPs that if the delay is less than 12 months, then they can't do much about it. So it has to be more than 12 months. Again, it is what it is. But if you think that you cannot wait any longer, please write to them. If a lawyer did it for you, speak to the lawyer, ask the lawyer to follow up for you. If you did it yourself, you can follow up or tell your MP to intervene on your behalf.
Okay. Somebody is asking, please, can I use my Ghana passport and Ghana card when going to Ghana and when returning to UK as a with a British passport? Yes, the answer is yes. You don't need this one has been going on for a long time. When you are leaving this country, you carry your Ghana passport, you carry your Ghana card, whichever one you have, along with your British passport. At Heathrow or Gatwick, you show your Ghana card or Ghana passport. They will let you go. You are leaving the country, so they don't care anymore. Whatever you want, they will let you go. Then when you get to Ghana, you show your Ghana passport or your Ghana card. It has to be said that, of course, Ghana won't let you in if you don't have any of that. They will let you in, but you have to go and pay for visa on arrival if that is the case, if you don't take any of them. So, and then on your way back, you just use your British passport to clock in and out, or go to a counter desk as we would normally do if it doesn't work at the machines. So this has been going on. A lot of people still are not sure of it. It's happening. We do it. I do it. Everywhere. A lot of people do it. So don't be panicking about it. If you have a Ghana card or Ghana passport, you can go with your British passport. Take Ghana to Ghana, return to UK with your British. It happens. That's what happens. If I can ask for those who want to ask, whose hands are up. Emanuela Badin, please. Emanuela. Is Emanuela still with us, please? Yes, unmute yourself. Thank you.
I am a dependent.
I can't hear you, please. Can you up your voice a bit, please? Thank you. Emanuela, are you still with us? I think there's problems with Emanuela contact with us. So we'll go to ZD. ZD. Is Z with us? Z, can you unmute yourself, please? Okay, we'll move on to Archie. Is Archie D with us?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me, sir?
Please, I can hear you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My sponsor's license was revoked about a year ago. But I found this lady at work who I was in a relationship with, and we are planning to marry. Can I go ahead and marry her? Thank you.
Sorry, can you repeat that question? Sorry, can you repeat that
I got a
question,
question.
please?
I got a question, Mr. Question.
You got it, yeah? Okay.
Yes, please. Okay, right. So, please, do you still have the visa or it is expired already following the revocation of your employer's license?
I think I still have the visa.
You think or it is?
I haven't checked whether it is still valid because the license was revoked about a year ago.
All right, I'll give you two responses then to accommodate both.
Okay.
So my answer will be conditional to whatever the case is. So the first if is this. If your visa is still valid, then you can switch from what you have to a spouse visa if your new wife or spouse is a British citizen or someone with indefinite leave to remain or someone who is an EU national with 5 years pre-settled or settled status, which is also indefinite. However, if your visa has already expired, then you cannot switch to your partner's status without a child involved. And without a child involved simply means that two adults, one without a visa cannot switch to the other. Because without a visa, there's no switch. But where you don't have a visa and your partner has a child, even if the child is not for you, by the virtue of your marriage to your partner, you become a step parent to the partner or to the child, or you've been in a relationship with this partner for 2 years, and therefore you have durable relationship. You become a de facto father to the child, or you go to court to ask for parental responsibility order to make you a parent, to be able to be in the life of the child if there's no marriage to the child's mother. However, you should be living with the child's mother and the child as a family unit to be able to apply as a step dad.
Okay, thank you. I've got Frank Tando's hand again. Is that the old one or a new one? Frank Tando.
Yeah, the old one.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to know, if that is the case, does it mean that if I get a new job, the company will know that maybe my visa has expired? So truth to that, I'm not going to get the chance to get the job?
Is that a question?
I said, because I asked a question, I have already asked my question, and you answered me.
No, this new one. Have you finished asking the question before you paused?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
You finished. Right.
Yes.
Now, every diligent employer would find out whether you have right to work in the first place as part of the recruitment process, because they are under duty within the laws or rules, immigration rules, to ensure that they hire people with the right to work. And if they find out, of course, they will not even progress your recruitment or your selection. And that will be part of it anyway. And that's why I said a diligent employer. But if the employer doesn't find out because they only relied on your statement that I have a visa and they hired you, then the company is putting itself at risk, because they will be under duty to ensure that they would not have hired you. And of course, as was earlier mentioned, if it is found out, they will have to pay £40,000. So I don't think the company will risk it.
Can I come in?
Yeah.
Because the share code is working. The share code is working. Right now, as I'm speaking to you right now, I have checked my share code. It's working until maybe August.
The lawyer earlier said that you may have a share code working. However, you also have a letter that says you cannot work. It's just a matter of time.
I haven't got any letter from anyone.
Okay.
Right. Let me come in quickly. Did you receive a letter from the Home Office when your company's license was revoked?
No.
No. Up to date?
Yeah.
Nothing?
Yes. Yes.
Are you the main or dependent?
Dependent.
Have you spoken to your main whether a letter has been, because you are not supposed to be, the Home Office doesn't have a duty towards you, because literally they don't know you. They know your partner. So if anybody must tell you what is happening, it has to be your partner, not the government. And if indeed this is your partner would have told you whatever is happening to you as a family, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Good. So ask your partner, since the revocation, has there been any 60 days notice? If no, and genuinely no, then you are fine. You are under Section 3C protection, because because the rules are that even if the company's license is revoked, Home Office has a duty to tell you officially or formally. But you means the main skilled worker person, migrant, not the dependent. Unless your dependent went to report you that they are no longer with you, the Home Office has a duty towards you. Now you become the main focus. They have to write to you to say that your relationship is no more and your visa has been taken away, or you have 60 days. But if any of this hasn't happened, then ask your wife, your former wife or your estranged wife, whether something has come in. If nothing, then quickly take action to convert it to something else before the formal notice comes.
Can I come in again?
Yes, you may.
Right.
Can I come Can I? Hello.
Yes,
Can I
if you
come in
can.
again?
Yes, we want to clarify you.
Yeah,
So come in.
I understood everything you were saying. By then, why is it that if I check my share code, that's the place I don't understand. Why is it that if I check my share code, if they have canceled it, yeah, I know that maybe they have canceled that. If I check my share code, I have the right to work here again.
Right. Yes, because you don't know whatever has happened because you are not the man. But let me give you this analogy because this morning when I was on set, because we do community engagement every week, the same question came. So I used this analogy. We are all faithful people, but we also spiritual people. And we hear that there are spiritual beings called ghosts, right?
Mm-hmm.
We may or may not believe in that. But
we may.
But those who do believe that such spirits are there, sometimes they will come and tell you that I've seen this person who is expected to have been dead. So how come the body is not, but the spirit is there? So do we rely on the body or we rely on the spirit? Ideally, if it's a human being, you want to see the body, and that is the living being. Any other thing is not reliable. And so your visa is the one given to you, the paper given, either, and of course, the paper has been converted to the e-visa. So if you are not sure whether it's been cancelled or not, you can do a subject access request to ask the Home Office to confirm for you. But checking your share code and seeing that it's still active doesn't mean that you still have a visa, especially where you are not sure. So my brother, you got to take steps to work out whether you have the visa itself so that if somebody asks for it, you can show them because that should correspond with the one online. So don't rely only on the one online. Work out whether the one given to you with expiry date has either expired or been cancelled.
Okay, thank you so much. With my limited knowledge in the community, my brother, I think you may need to establish contact with your main applicant. Whatever the circumstances, you may need to reach out because you may find yourself wondering what is happening and you're not getting the information you need to be able to make progress. So please, if you know somebody that knows that person, try and use that person to establish that contact because avoiding the person or you and the person not talking or reaching out to each other may not necessarily work in your cause if you leave it to drag on because seeing the share code working, as the lawyer said, does not mean anything. So please, take this advice and try and use people, church members that you think may know, friends that may know the person, try and establish a contact and have a conversation before things run out, please. Okay? Thank you. Stella Yelbert, please. Stella. And I'll come to Emanuela, whose hands has been up a second time. Stella, please. Stella Yelbert, are you with us? Please unmute yourself. I've asked you to unmute yourself with the icon, so you should be able to unmute yourself if not already. Okay, our time is running out, so we will be going to Emanuela again. Emanuela, do you still have another question, or is that an old hand?
It's an old hand. My question is,
okay.
I'm a dependent, but no, I'm no more with my partner.
Hello.
And
okay, Stella, bear with us now. Emanuela is talking, so once she's done, I'll call you back.
Thank you very much.
I'll call you back again. Don't mute your yes. Emanuela, carry on, please.
Yeah, but I'm no more with my partner I came with, and I want to apply for a spouse visa. I consulted lawyer Ben, and he asked me to write a B2 examination, but the visa expires on the 14th of April, and the B2, the availability date for the B2, it's 1st and 8th, and to my knowledge, it takes 3 weeks for the test results to come. So in this case, should I still continue with the B2 or I can write the A2 or B1?
At the highest.
Lawyer, did you get the question?
I did. Okay, so
outside
you were. I think there is noise in the background.
Sorry, Stella, would you mind to please keep quiet if you can so that you don't interfere?
Okay.
I know you are struggling to unmute yourself. I don't want to mute you again. So if you want to be leaving yourself, then please let your environment be quiet. Lawyer, carry on, please.
Thank you. So the focus is the expiry date of the visa. And regardless of all the conversations we had or we might have had with you regarding the documentations, you have to submit the application. So these are the rules. Submit the application, and as long as the application is submitted, before your appointment, your documents would have been ready. So especially in your case where it's an urgent matter, what you have to do is we put in the application for you. We put in the application for.
Stella, I will end up muting you, please. Thank you. All right, lawyer, carry on.
We'll put in the application for you before the visa expires. In this case, you are protected under Section 3C because you made an application before the visa expired. The rules say that once you have submitted the application, you have 35 days to book and enroll your biometric data. And within those 35 days, from the date we submitted the application, of course, you said April. So you have March and part of April to do that. So book for the B2 now. Organize yourself. Yes, for the, I don't know, are you doing spousal visa application based on your spouse who is a British citizen or somebody with indefinite, right? Oh, she's gone. Okay, so if it is speaking and listening, it's not difficult. Speaking and listening at this stage is not difficult. When we move on to what the government intends to do, it gets much more difficult. But at this stage, just book, prepare yourself, submit the application so that your visa doesn't expire. Then before you go for your biometric enrollment, everything would have been ready. You upload your documents and you are okay.
Okay. Thank you. Lawyer, someone has a question on chat room. My friend told me that if you are pregnant for a British citizen, sorry, I'm just trying to, you can apply for a leave to remain after giving birth and your child has received their birth certificate. You don't necessarily have to wait for the child to receive a passport. Please, how true is this assertion?
Right. So to an extent, you can do that. The reason why we ask for a passport is the proof itself. And that is absolute evidence that this child is British. But British citizenship is determined by the law. Under Section 1 of the Nationality Act of 1981, it says that a child born to a British citizen or a child born to a parent who has indefinite leave to remain is British by birth. So if I'm making an application for you and you don't have your child's passport, all I'll ask for is show me the birth certificate indicating the date of birth, and also show me the mother or the father's indefinite leave to remain or naturalization certificate indicating the time the person had citizenship or became settled. Once the person was settled before the child was born, I will apply for you and make a representation or submissions that the child is British by operation of law. There's no passport at this stage because they haven't applied for one, because there's no travel intended, but the child is British and you can go ahead.
All right, thank you so much. I will go back to those whose hands are up. Stella, please. Do you want to unmute yourself, Stella? Stella, you're back.
Oh, hello, good evening. If you are a dual citizenship, if you have dual citizenship, can you travel to Ghana with your British passport and the dual citizenship card? Will it be okay to do it that way?
So, lawyer, if you are, I mean, I think we have explained it before.
I think you are going to answer that because
Yes,
this is something that you, yeah.
Yes, we have. If you have a British passport,
Yes.
and you have a Ghana passport, you can travel
Yes,
with
but
both
I have
of
a
them.
dual citizenship card. No,
which is
which
the
has been made for me.
The green
Can I
one.
travel with that?
Is it the
And
green one, the old green one, or the Ghana card?
No, the old green one.
Okay, yes, it's still valid as long as it
Oh,
has no
thank
date
you.
of it on it. So yeah, it's still valid.
Thank you very much.
But
Thanks.
I would suggest when you go to Ghana, try and get a Ghana card, because
Okay,
then
thank you.
that is a
Yes.
new order right now.
All
Like,
right.
you'll still be able to enter.
She has a supplementary question, if I can ask on her behalf.
Okay.
Yes, the daughter bears an old old Ghana passport with the nationality in it. It's a stamp, like old post office stamp that was given about 30 years ago.
The indefinite stamp.
Yeah. That was her citizen
settlement.
Yes, indefinite leave to stay. It was just a stamp in there. It's not any digital or whatever it is. And it's an old Ghana passport. What does she needs to do to travel with that nationality, whatever it is, to Ghana and come back to the country and return to the country?
Is it for mom, the same person?
No, is the daughter of Stella.
Somebody else. Okay. Does this person have a chance become British?
She's already bear the British passport, but she doesn't travel with the British passport to Ghana.
So the answer is this person is British.
Yes, she is.
Once the person is British, there's no more need for permanent visa to stay in the UK. If we've gone past that stage, so the person doesn't need settlement visa anymore. The person is now a citizen and carries the passport of Britain. So when the person is going to Ghana, of course, the person must have a visa to go to Ghana. If they don't have the Ghana passport or they don't have the Ghana card, they have to go to the embassy and get a Ghana visa to enter Ghana. Then when they get to Ghana during the holiday period, I don't know how long they will be there for, they can get a passport done for them or Ghana card made for them so that when they are returning in future, when they are going back, they can then rely on that. But when the person is coming back to the UK, they have the passport, the British passport to hold, and that is what they use to enter.
Okay. This means that you can travel to Ghana with a Ghana card, and when you are returning, you return with a British passport.
Yes. So I think one thing that I have personally experienced is that when you go to Ghana only with a Ghana card and your British passport, they want to see, because you can't travel without a passport. That is a standard requirement. So if you don't have Ghana passport and you have just the Ghana card, when you get to Accra, as part of the immigration procedures, they want to see the passport you traveled on. They will take your British passport to see that that is a passport. However, you don't have to have a visa in it, because the Ghana card supports why you came to Ghana without a visa.
All right, okay.
Thank you.
And when you are returning to UK, they wouldn't ask you why that there's no stamp in the passport that you travel with.
You didn't need a passport, you needed your Ghana card, and you are coming back home as a British citizen with your British passport. That's all you need.
All right, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I call on Kate Bruce, please? Kate. Is Kate with us? We've got only a few minutes, and I want to get to the last three whose hands are up. Anyone who cannot reach us on this question, please reach out to BWF solicitors.
Can you hear me?
And
Can
they
you
will
hear me?
definitely like to see you. Kate,
can you
please
hear me?
go.
Yes.
I can hear you. Go ahead, please. Thank you.
Okay. My question is, I think lawyer said something earlier that sorry. I on my way from Ghana back to England, he was saying that you have to enter with your British book. But when you are leaving, you can enter with any Ghana document, whether passport or the Ghana card. But he said something that when you are going, you need to print few things with you, your settlements. You need to print some, is it the settle something and your immigration status. He said you need to print something, and I just want him to clarify that so I could write it down.
Right. So that is for those who are resident in the UK with visas, visa holders. So with the visa holders, they will have e-visas, because at the moment there's no paper visa or card that we used to have. So everything will be online. And you can generate a share code, which is the immigration status share code. So to make it easy for inspectors at the borders, all you have to do, and also the airline, just print, if you are a visa holder, your e-visa and your share code and add to your passport. That is what I was explaining. But if you are a British citizen and a Ghanaian going with your Ghana passport and coming back with your British passport, you don't have to do anything.
Thank you very much.
My second question is, if you are settled here, if you have received a settlement, how many years does it take before you could go in for a British book?
It depends on how you got your settlement. If you got your settlement through your British spouse, then immediately you had your settlement, the same day you can apply for your citizenship, because you are exempted from waiting for a year. Otherwise, you have to wait for a year, hold the indefinite leave to remain for 1 year before you can apply for nationality. And that is under Section 6 of the Nationality Act of 1981.
Thank you. Kofi Osei, please. Kofi Osei. Kofi, are you still with us? If you can unmute yourself, please. Okay.
Yeah, hello. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. With e-visa, how will you how will you prove, or how will you prove to maybe your employer that you have a right to work in the country?
Okay, so are you done? Earlier on, with the lawyer said with e-visa, you generate a share code. So you have share code for your landlord, you have share code for your employer, and you have another share code which you can use to go and get national insurance number. You can use it for your GP. You can use it for all those other essential services. So any of these places you go, they will ask you for a share code. And the share code lasts 3 months. Every 3 months, you have to generate a new share code. That is how it works. So if you are employed today, the employer doesn't need to see your passport. They will just ask you for a share code. They will then log into the system and check whether you are able to work or not. So that is how share code work. Is that clear? All right. So I wish there's more time, but we've done 2-hour session. As our forum is always a 2-hour, we want to make sure we maintain that strict condition so that at least it doesn't become a drag on for 5 hours. Now, BWF solicitors are there to help. With other solicitors, apart from Bernard, there are other people there, including Charles himself, who will help. Charles, I want to make a request to you. I think I've already told Bernard already. I have a group who are asking if you can come to their meeting. It's a very vibrant Ghanaian group, and their name is West London Ghanaian Association. So they will have a meeting on the 12th of April. I think I will liaise with you. I don't have your direct line, but if you can, I don't know, but
Yes,
so that we can arrange for you to go and meet them. It's one group that I very much like, and I think if you go there in person,
yes,
it will be very helpful for them. We have a lot of community groups who some of their members may not be here. So some of these things we will need you to go to the grassroots and help out. It's one of those things we do to support. And thank you very much for your time. Thank you, BWF, for your time and the effort you put in. As you all know, we've been away for quite some time. We are back on monthly basis now. Once a month, we'll bring you something, just as we've done today. Our next program, we are hoping to have the Ghana High Commission with us, the High Commissioner and her team, so that they can educate us on anything new that has come from the mission. I'm yet to get their approval, but I'm sure in principle they are happy to attend. And we will rota a number of sessions that I'm sure will interest you and your family. Thank you for attending. On behalf of Ghana Union, we are grateful for your time and support, and we look forward to see you again. Charles, do you want to give your final remarks before we close?
Yeah, thank you. So, we are grateful to the community for the opportunity to serve, as always. On behalf of the team, our principal, Uncle Ben himself, entire team, we say thank you for your audience. But I want to mention this by way of information that there is a new law that was passed in December 2025, and that is called Employment Rights Act 2025. And that is an amendment to the old Employment Rights Act of 1996. There's one provision that has been, there are a lot of changes, but the key change for the community is where employers could dismiss people, especially where they have not done 2 years with them, under Section 108 of the old law, or the existing law, where it says that an employer or an employee cannot be dismissed or unfairly dismissed if they have done 2 years. That means if the employee hasn't done 2 years with the employer can easily say, you can leave now, and there's nothing that, you can't take it to employment tribunal because they will tell you haven't done 2 years. And most of the care workers were becoming victims of that situation. Under the new law, from the 1st of January 2027, if you have worked with the employer for 6 months, you qualify to be treated the same way as somebody who has worked with the employer for 2 years, and therefore you cannot be unfairly dismissed. If you've done 6 months, that means after probation, you cannot be dismissed without good and fair reason. That is what I wanted to put across, so that we all know that from next year, all you have to do is to pass your probation, and if employer is dismissing you without good explanation, going to ACAS, you can also go to the employment tribunal to assert your right.
Thank you so much. On that note, I would like to thank all of you for your time. Have a blessed weekend, and may God continue to keep this community safe and well. Good night.
Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced family law firm specializing in immigration and naturalization, as well as dispute resolution. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner with over 30 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stand for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity and inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance across all areas of UK and Ghana law. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Led by experienced senior partner Bernard Owusu, the team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with your immigration, naturalization, dispute resolution, family law, new wills and probate, Ghana law and practice needs. We are dedicated to providing solutions to our clients' problems. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214-218 High Road, 7 Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Main office line 0208 493 7340 or our emergency line 07712 761 884.